Salim Hannah Hernandez, who leads them up to the line. We race. RFM 1-2, the carts that were 1-3-5 on the grid. Go first, second and third. Griffin Peebles from grid 5 for Koski Motorsport, the Australian, into third place. Great start by the first of the Forza Racing carts, just behind. But it's the RFM duo who go 1-2. Griffin Peebles in third. As they come up the hill for the first time, there's Newman Chi, the Chinese driver for the Beyond Racing team, in position 4. Tayam Sala is back behind Miguel Costa, who's made a great start. Coming from grid 9, the fifth row of the grid, he's in position 5. Down into the hairpin for the first time, Salim Hannah Hernandez. Super start from the South American. Ricky Flynn Motorsport first and second place. The gap already is 0.7 of a second between the Colombian and the pole. Maciej Guadic in second place. Griffin Peebles looks good here. Coming back from injury. The Australian driver looks over his left shoulder, and right behind him for the Beyond Racing team at position 4 is Newman Chi, who goes around the outside as Griffin almost runs into the back of Maciej. And the Australian from a podium position is now back in position 5. Costa on the charge goes through. He's one step off the podium. Newman Chi in position 3, but it's RFM 1 and 2. Costa down the inside. Fabulous pass. O Menino do Brasil through into position 3. Salim Hannah Hernandez. The gap last time was 0.7 of a second. It's 0.99 of a second. We'll call it 1 exactly. Ricky Flynn Motorsport 1 and 2. There is Costa. This may be the Brazilian-American's opportunity to stand on the top step of the podium this afternoon. At the moment, he's in position 3. Griff slams it down the inside, was committed from a mile back. He took 1 place but lost 3 on the exit. Gael Badge from the Holy Land of Israel for the Swedish racing team goes through. The Ward Racing pilot on your screen just ahead of the German Tayam Sala, who, remember, started out of grid 2. Fastest driver on the circuit also for the Ward Racing team at the moment, Elliot Kaczynski, with a 48.547. There's his teammate, who is just about to be passed. Tayam Sala makes a place back. Here comes the Austrian, the Pink Panther on the charge. Nicholas Schaufler from north of the border for DPK Racing in the Czech Republic. Sits in behind Gael Badge. There's Elliot Kaczynski on the charge. Newman Chi back to 8. Griffin Peebles 9. So Newman and Griffin, the 2 Chinese-born drivers, in the top 10, just ahead of Jimmy Helias. There's Glaswegian Zach Drummond. Luna Fluxa ahead of the newly crowned reigning junior world champion, Enzo Tavanishkul. The Forza Racing duo, they've dropped back after a reasonable start. Ed Robinson, Lewis Werrell, ahead of Andy Consani, the Australian Brad Matchman, and Rene Lammers from grid 24, up inside the top 20 already. It will be one almighty drive if the Dutchman can take the podium 3 times. He's won a WSK title. The driver from Zandvoort in the Netherlands for the Paralympic team. Now he's up to 18th behind Andy Consani as we go back to the fight for the bottom step of the podium. There is Tayam Sala, the German, going through. Costa looks good here this weekend. There's Tayam Sala from Gael Badge. Ward Racing 343. Elliot Kaczynski, Ward Racing 342 in position 6. Costa is catching Guadic. Griffin Peebles going through. Just ahead of Jimmy Helias for the Energy Course Racing team. Jimmy Le Fantastique du Paris en France. Jimmy the Frenchman now with the Energy team from Bergamo. Inside the top 10, had a heat win in the rain during the week. Dropping back though was Nicholas Schaufler there. He's fighting with Newman Chi. So Schaufler, who looked really good in the rain, but the grip is coming. And Schaufler, we expected him to figure, unless that Kart Republic comes on, he's in real trouble here. He's losing time. There's Newman Chi, looks over his right shoulder. Back to Griffin Peebles. And then Jimmy Helias in the energy cart out front. Ricky Flynn Motorsport 1 and 2. But the question is for how long? Costa is coming. Kaczynski behind in position 6, the fastest driver on the circuit with a 47.966. Down through the chicane, the gap is 0.7 of a second. It was 1 second between the 2 Ricky Flynn Motorsport teammates driving the Lando Norris kart, which made its world debut in the hands of Lando himself. Norris taking part in official practice for this, the WSK Open Cup 1 year ago at Adria Karting Raceway. Ricky Flynn Motorsport, first and second. The Vortex engines tuned by one engines. The Lando Norris kart. There is the KVS tuned Perilla Iami on the Kart Republic for the Sauber Karting Academy of Miguel Costa. He's closing in on the back of Maciej Guadic. Meanwhile, Rene Lammers down in 17th place, but with the fastest lap of the race. 10 laps remaining at the end of this one already. Costa is catching Guadic. There's Tayem Sala, the German champion, on the podium in the Rotax Euro Series a couple of seasons ago. He's one step off the podium. He's the German in the 307. Kart Republic here in the WSK Open Cup. The OK Junior final here this afternoon in perfect conditions. The sun is shining here in the north of Italy, the second day of October. And the British team with the Colombian and Polish drivers run 1-2, being caught by the boy from Brazil, born in America, for the Swiss Italian Sauber Kart Republic team. Miguel Costa on the charge. He's almost on the back of the all-in-backed Polish driver, Maciej Guadic, who won the second round of the WSK Euro Series at Sano a couple of months ago. Costa is right behind him. Into the final corner, not this time, as they both take a tenth of a second out of the Colombian, the South American, Salim Hanna Hernandez. Maciej Guadic second in the WSK Euro Series, which was won by his countryman, Yannick Shirosky, who's racing this weekend in the OK Senior class. He's the all-in-back driver from Tarnów in Poland. Second place being caught by Costa. At the moment, the South American, this would be the biggest win of his career. Salim Hanna Hernandez, if he can hold on, but there's still the second half of the race remaining. We complete 9 of 17 at the end of this one. Costa's right there. Has to think about it. Has to be an intelligent, decisive move. Here it comes. Down the inside. O Menino do Brasil goes through to position 2. The RFM duo are split. This may well be the weekend for Costa. The two South Americans from the pole, first and second. RFM first and third. Costa is flying. There's Tayem Sala in the background. Gael Badge, Elliot Kaczynski, 5 and 6 for the Ward Racing team. Perfect pass from Costa. So now the Colombian from the American-born Brazilian, who now lives in Monte Carlo. The Ricky Flynn Motorsport drivers, the Lando Norris karts. First and third, Tayem Sala has not given up on a podium either. The gap last time was 0.757 of a second. We'll check it as they come across the line with now 7 laps remaining. Now to 0.8 of a second. We'll give the benefit of the doubt with the pass last lap. And you can see Costa is pulling away from Guadic. Winner, Jurek Dinner, not this afternoon from Maciej, unless he can do something spectacular in the remaining 7 laps. There's Griffin Peebles going through, just ahead of Enzo Tarvanishkel. Jimmy Halia, Schaufler, falls back to 11 from Werrell, Ajib, Rene Lammers, up into 14th place from grid 24. Down through the chicane, we'll watch the gap critically next time round. 0.823, you can see clearly Costa has dropped off Guadic. And there is Tayem Sala, the German, started from grid 2, the Kart Republic. At the moment, he's a step off the podium. 0.8 last time, it remains the same. Costa takes nothing, maybe a centimetre out of Salim Hanna Hernandez last time around. Down through the back straight, you can see Gael Badge sliding sideways. On the exit of turn 3 over the ripple strip, there's Tayem Sala, 307, a superb run all weekend, but it will be a heartbreaking miss for the Kart Republic driver. At the moment, he's in position 4. Down through the chicane. Guadic is in danger of being attacked by Tayem Sala. RFM still running 1 and 3. There is Costa, the familiar style of Miguel, parents Raul and Juliana here trackside, nervously watching on their boy as we get news. There's the board to the left of your screen. Len Nice, the Belgian driver, has just been issued with a 5-second penalty. That puts him way down in 32nd position. It's down to 0.7 of a second. The two Ward Racing teammates on your screen, Elliot Kaczynski, Gael Badge. The Swede from Guy, Enzo Tavanishkul. Tough run for the boy from Bangkok, Thailand. But he's now up into P8. Started on the 7th row of the grid on grid 14 in the 301. Racer 401, double R Tony Car chassis powered by the Vortex. Tayam Sala, you can see, has caught Maciej Guadish. He's an opportunity. And Tayam Sala thinks better of it. Still time to get up onto the podium. Maciej Guadish is in danger of missing it. The gap is still stagnant, 0.7 of a second. Hernandez. What a performance, what a turnaround for the South American. There in the background is Tayam Sala. Has a think about it. And Elia Kaczynski, Guy Elbash for Wart Racing trying to drag themselves into the battle for the bottom step of the podium. Salim Hanna Hernandez has gone from a midfield runner to be a star, and he's 4.5 laps away from taking the biggest victory of his career. Coached and mentored by the Indianapolis 500 winner, multiple Formula One Grand Prix winner, Juan Pablo Montoya. His protege in position 1 as Tayam Sala goes through into position 3, the German on the podium. Maciej is off it. Ricky Flynn Motorsport, they were running 1 and 2, they're now 1 and 4. Fantastic recovery for Tayam Sala. And the Kart Republics now split the Ricky Flynn Motorsport Lando Norris karts. The response from the all-in-back pole in position 4. As we go back to his teammate, the gap still 0.7 of a second. Costa's running out of time. Salim Hanna Hernandez is driving superbly. The response from Maciej Guadish into the final corner, it needs to be decisive as Tayam Sala closes the door. And look who's come to play. Elia Kaczynski now fighting for the bottom step of the podium. He's on the outside, he's now on the inside of Guadish as they come up the straight side by side, giving Tayam Sala breathing space. That time, Costa took 0.2 of a second out of the race leader. Here we go. The South Americans go 1-2. Tayam Sala in position 3. Kaczynski down the inside. And Maciej falls back to P5. The penultimate lap of the race. Salim Hanna Hernandez, 0.51 of a second ahead of Miguel Costa. Both drivers looking for what would be the biggest win of their respective careers. Costa driving the wheels off the Sauber Kart Republic. Salim Hanna Hernandez looking for victory for Ricky Flynn Motorsport in the Lando Norris kart. L'ultima vuelta for the Colombian in position 1, 0.4 of a second. Another 10th, but it may well be too little too late for Costa. There's Tayam Sala has broken free. The battle between himself, Guadish, Eilbash, and also Newman G. Enzo Tavanishkul is not far behind also. But out front, Salim Hanna Hernandez comes down the hill for the final time. Miguel Costa, the gap is 0.4 of a second. He's too far back. Salim looks over his right shoulder nervously. The Sauber is coming. 2 corners remaining, turns in the Lando Norris 368 kart, the final corner. That checkered flag is about to wave. Vamos! Salim Hanna Hernandez, the Colombian, wins the WSK Open Cup for Ricky Flynn Motorsport in the Lando Norris kart. Miguel Costa superb on the podium in position 2, and a fantastic recovery for the German. Tayam Sala, the German, yes, does take the podium after a beautiful comeback. He's position 3.